Hi, good afternoon. Good morning to all attendees. Welcome to Destination Malaysia. I will do a quick audio check before we start. Can you hear me? If you can, click on the raise hand icon on your screen. If you cannot hear me, rejoin the session and ensure you select join using computer audio. Some housekeeping. Your microphone and your video have been switched off now, since everybody seems to be all right. The raise hand function has also now been switched off. If you have any questions for us, please add this on to the Q&A box. And if you require any assistance throughout the webinar, please use the chat box. We are recording this session, so you'll be receiving a recording after the session. Destination Malaysia is part of Destination Asia Pacific Virtual University Week. This is an event that caters to our stakeholders to learn more about key university destinations in the region. I am Alicia, Senior Country Manager, Malaysia, Southeast Asia Pacific. Today, we have the pleasure of Mr. Gupadi Singh joining us.
Hi.
Now, hi, yes. Mr. Gupadi Singh graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Science from University Technology Malaysia and a Master of Science degree in Technology Management from Staffordshire University, UK. He has had more than 30 years experience in both the ICT and higher education industries as a developer, project manager, technology manager, and educator. Starting his career as an IT project manager with Malaysia's leading banking group, Gupadi moved into a management role within the higher education, leading program design, development, and delivery, as well as technology deployment and operations management at Asia Pacific Institute of IT, APIT in short. He was instrumental in the institution's growth and evolution into a university college and eventually to a full university. He presently holds the position of Chief Operating Officer of the APIT Education Group. And apart from his primary responsibility for the development and operations of the business, he leads the development and execution of digital transformation strategy in support of the institutions within the group. Gupadi is also presently chairman of the national level sectorial training committee for the education sector under the Human Resource Development Fund under the Ministry of Human Resource Malaysia. He has also previously served as a member of the Internationalization Committee under the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia and was part of the team that developed the way forward for private higher education institutions with the theme Education as an Industry, document published by the Ministry of Higher Education in Malaysia in February 2020. Now, before I hand the floor over to Mr. Singh, allow me to share an infographic about of the survey, a recent student destination survey for students for Cambridge students from Malaysia taking Cambridge Advanced Qualifications. As you can see, the top 3 destination countries are Malaysia, UK, and Australia, while the top 5 universities are Taylor's University, Imperial College London, London School of Economics, the University of Manchester, and King's College London. And from this survey, some of the trends and comments that we receive are that students prefer to stay in Asia due to worldwide COVID situation and its impact, and students generally avoid US universities due to high COVID rates. And now I'll hand the floor over to Mr. Gupadip, who perhaps could share with us some of his insight in this. Thank you. Okay. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Alicia, and good afternoon. It's actually afternoon here. Selamat petang in Bahasa Malaysia. It's raining very heavily here in Kuala Lumpur, so good afternoon from a very wet and cool Kuala Lumpur. Very nice to have so many of you joining us this afternoon. Parents, teachers, schools, children, students, all aspiring to continue your studies overseas. Also very happy to see Alicia's slide earlier that Malaysia is the #1 destination for Cambridge students in this region. Something that's quite, we're quite pleased about. There's a lot that Malaysia has to offer, and that is what I will go through in my presentation. Yeah, so I hope that you'll be able to benefit from what I'll share, and I hope that you'll also ask any questions that you might have, and I will try to answer you as much as possible, as well as possible, so that you get as comfortable as possible with what Malaysia has to offer. So let me share my screen now, so that we can start off. Right. Now, I actually, although I belong to the Asia Pacific University of Technology and Innovation, this university is also a member of the Malaysian Association of Private Colleges and Universities. So what I'm doing now is representing the association, which comprises most of the large universities in Malaysia, in trying to present what Malaysia has to offer in terms of higher education for students coming from, especially the Asia Pacific region, which I guess most of you come from, yeah, but also from all over the world. We have students in Malaysia from probably about 200 over countries. So not just from Asia or Southeast Asia, but also from the Middle East, also from Central Asia, also from Africa, even as far as the Americas as well, South America and North America and Europe. So we are a very cosmopolitan country. And again, like I said, I will share with you destination for higher education. Yeah, so let's go on this journey now. Let me start by just for those who might not be familiar where Malaysia is in the first place. As you can see, Malaysia is located in the in Southeast Asia. We are just and I guess you might be familiar with Singapore, so we are connected. We're just above Singapore. But Malaysia has got two major parts. There is a Peninsular Malaysia, which you can see on the left-hand side, and you've got what we call East Malaysia, which is on the island of Borneo, separated by the South China Sea, where we have two states. Malaysia has got effectively 14 states, 2 of them in East Malaysia, and the balance 12 in the peninsula. Yeah, so just a quick idea of where Malaysia is in case you're not familiar. Yeah. Some facts about Malaysia. The capital city of Malaysia is Kuala Lumpur, and that's where we are. That's where I am now. The population of Malaysia is about 32.6 million, so not a very large population in comparison with a lot of countries in Asia, but comfortable population. There's famous artifacts like the Petronas Twin Towers. You will see whenever people talk about Malaysia, it's synonymous with the Twin Towers, which you saw in my first slide earlier. These were and I think they still are the highest twin towers in the world. Yeah. At the time when they were built in the late 90s, they were the highest buildings in the world, but now they've been taken over by a number of other buildings. But as far as twin towers are concerned, they're still the highest, so something to be proud about. The population of Klang Valley is about 8 million people. So a lot of, at least a quarter of our country's population is centered in and around Kuala Lumpur, which we call Klang Valley. Klang Valley is Kuala Lumpur plus satellite cities around it. And it's a very vibrant environment, a very vibrant area. In terms of weather, we have only one season throughout the year. It is summer throughout the year, and we have rain throughout the year as well. So it's a tropical country with temperatures between 25 degrees to 33 degrees Celsius. Our location is just above the equator. So that makes us, like I said, very much a tropical country. High degree of humidity and very we have sunshine throughout the year, and we have rain throughout the year, and a very comfortable environment. So we don't have winters, we don't have snow, we don't have situations where we are stuck in our homes, not being able to go out. So it's a very, very pleasant country to be in. Our population is about 72% in the cities, in the towns rather than in the rural areas. So highly urban population. Now, in terms of religion, Malaysia is the official religion of Malaysia is Islam. That's the official religion of Malaysia, but there is total freedom to practice religion. So there is no restriction in terms of practicing different religions in the country. So the next largest religious group in this country is Buddhism, and then Christianity, Hinduism, and then we also have Sikhs, Sikhism, and many other religions being practiced in this country without any problems, without any restriction. Yeah, so that's not an issue. In terms of languages, now while Bahasa Malaysia is our national language, and that's our official language, and is spoken as our official means of communication, English is still very widely used in this country. Now that's because Malaysia used to be, just like Singapore, Malaysia used to be a colony of Britain. Yeah, so until we gained our independence in 1957, we were under British rule. And that's why English is spoken very, very widely in Malaysia. So not a problem at all dealing in both languages. Apart from that, we have a very large Chinese-speaking population who speak Mandarin primarily. And we also have a very large Tamil-speaking population because of the Hindu population that we have here. So these are the 4 top languages in this country. In terms of currency, our currency is called RM, Ringgit Malaysia. And it's roughly $1 is equivalent to about 4.1 Ringgit Malaysia, or maybe about 3.3 ringgits is equivalent to 1 Singapore dollar. Maybe 1 UK pound is equivalent to 5.6 Ringgit Malaysia. That's the sort of currency that we have at the moment. Time zones, we are 8 hours behind the GMT. So it's about 4 p.m. now in Malaysia, which makes it about 8 a.m. in the UK, for example. Yeah, so we are in that time zone. Oddly enough, we are in the same time zone as Singapore as well. Yeah, in the same vertical line. Now we are considered to be, and I'll share that later, we are a very peaceful country. Global Peace Index, we are 23rd in the world. Of interest for those who want to drive in this country, our cars drive on the left-hand side of the road, not on the right-hand side. And the languages used in universities, and when I talk about universities, I'm talking about private universities where most of the international students come to, the medium of instruction is English. Yeah, and I will touch more about that later. So this is just some quick information about Malaysia. Moving on, like I said, Malaysia is one of the top 20 most peaceful countries in the world. We are basically very peace-loving. We have no wars or strife or any other form of problems going on in the country that may affect anybody's safety. Yeah, so very, very peaceful country. Moving on to the qualification side, Malaysia is blessed with a very, very vibrant higher education sector. Now, just to share with you, in Malaysia, there are many different types of institutions, or many different types of higher education institutions in particular. First of all, we have the public or government-funded institutions, those that are owned by the government and run by the government, in which there are 20 universities, fairly large universities. There are about 36 polytechnics, and there are 104 community colleges. So 160 public and government-funded institutions operating in Malaysia. Now, these mainly cater for Malaysian students. So as far as undergraduate studies are concerned, these institutions mainly recruit Malaysian students, and they will mainly recruit international students into their postgraduate or master's and PhD programs. Yeah, so for undergraduate programs, they don't normally recruit a lot of international students, right? Only a very small number and very selectively as well. Yeah, because they are funded by the government. Where the international students would normally go into would be the private institutions, the private universities, like my university, yeah, and like all the other universities that operate within the private system. Yeah, and Malaysia has got a very vibrant private higher education sector with 51 universities, 10 foreign university branch campuses. So these are campuses, or these are universities from UK, Australia, and other countries who have also set up campuses here. Yeah, so there are 10 of them in this country. And then we also have 39 university colleges. University colleges are formally colleges who have been upgraded to university colleges before they become upgraded to universities. Yeah, so that's the progression that is normally in place for institutions in Malaysia, private institutions. And then we also have 335 colleges, a very large number of institutions in the college categories. They are normally very small, niche-based institutions who specialize in one particular area. Yeah, and they operate throughout the country. Colleges, by nature, cannot award their own degrees. What they do is they normally work with foreign universities or international universities to bring in programs from those universities and run them here. So students can attend a program with colleges here, but obtain a degree from a foreign university. And I will share the types of degrees that are available in colleges in my next slide. Yeah. So altogether, there are 160 public institutions, like I said, mainly catered to the local students, Malaysian students, and 435 institutions who cater to both local and international students. Yeah. Now, in terms of population, it's almost equal. In the private sector, largely 43.9% are in the private sector in terms of total number of students in the higher education sector. In total, the higher education, there are about 1.2 million students studying at higher education in Malaysia, out of which, like I said, 43% or 537,000 plus are in the private universities and 56% plus in the public universities, yeah, mainly Malaysian students. So this has changed probably over the last couple of years during the pandemic, because before the pandemic, it used to be almost equal, yeah. And in terms of international students, that's where you can see the private sector having the bulk of the numbers. 75% of international students studying in Malaysia actually study with the private universities or private institutions. And the balance 25% with the public universities. And like I said, those 25% would probably be primarily masters and PhD students, not students who come into undergraduate study, because those would primarily be with the private universities. So I think for the audience here, who are generally people who are related to the Cambridge system, looking at educational opportunities beyond the A levels or even beyond the O levels, you would mainly be looking at the private institutions, because that's where most of the recruitment would happen. Yeah, public institutions normally would take students at postgraduate level. Yeah, so I hope that that's clear in terms of the student breakdown. In terms of programs, now this is where it gets interesting, because Malaysia, like I said, is an innovator in introducing many different types of programs of different sorts. Yeah. Now in the private universities, at university level, you've got diplomas. The duration of these diplomas is about 2 to 3 years, depending on the field of study. Like for example, engineering diplomas will be 3 years. Whereas diplomas in business and IT and other areas might be 2.5 years in duration, yeah, depending on the university. Degree programs are 3 to 4 years. Again, depends on the area of study. So most of the technology, business, and other degree programs are 3 years long. We follow the UK system. You know, our legacy is from the UK, so that's why it's 3 years. Whereas for engineering programs, it's 4 years, and that is to meet the requirements of the Board of Engineers and for international accreditation purposes. Medical degrees, of course, are longer, and typically they are 5 years long. Some universities, 6 years. And then we have master's degrees as well, offered by the private universities. This is between 1 to 2 years long, depending again on the field of study and depending on the university. And private universities also offer PhDs and DBA programs, which range from 3 to 5 years. So private universities and university colleges offer programs at all of these levels, whereas the colleges are very unique in the sense that they also offer programs at certificate level. Certificate levels are a step below diplomas, These are people with O levels and who may come with 1 credit at O levels or equivalent, and this is 1 to 5 years or 1.5 years. And after the certificate, students can actually progress into diplomas. Diplomas, again, just like those in the universities, are also 2 to 3 years long. The primary target are students with O levels who have got at least through three O levels at the grade C and above. Yeah, so diplomas are being offered by private colleges as well. Now, since private colleges cannot award their own degrees because they're colleges, they're not universities. So what they have done over the years is they've introduced very innovative models. For example, twinning degree programs, and these are called twinning degree programs because they twin with a university either from the UK, Australia, or from the US, or many other countries. Many of them twin with Australian and UK universities. And what they do is they offer them in different modes. So some of them offer what are known as 1+2 programs. 1+2 means you do first 1 year in Malaysia, and then you spend the next 2 years with the university, either the UK, Australia, or US university, to finish the degree. If it's US, you got to spend 3 more years because US degrees are typically 4 years long. Some colleges offer them in 2+1 mode. So 2+1 means you do 2 years in Malaysia and 1 year with your parent university to finish your degree, or 2 years if it's a US university. Whereas some colleges have also gone more advanced and offer what we call 3+0 programs. Yeah, 3+0 means you do your 3 years entirely in Malaysia and 0 years overseas, so that you can get your degree from that foreign university entirely by studying in Malaysia. Now that's very unique. Now these models are very unique to Malaysia, and they were innovated by Malaysian colleges for many years already. And very interestingly, you can obtain degrees from very interesting universities from other countries by studying fully in Malaysia as well. Those are called franchise degrees. At the same time, colleges also offer master's degrees, again, franchising degrees from foreign universities, 1 to 2 years program. So you can see the private universities and university colleges and the private colleges together offer a broad range of degree levels, depending on your preferences, depending on the preferences of students. If you want to get a Malaysian degree, you typically go to a private university and university colleges and go through a degree program with those universities. Many of the private universities and university colleges also tie up with foreign universities to offer dual awards. So there's also such a thing as dual degrees, where you can study in Malaysia and you can get a degree from a Malaysian university, and at the same time also obtain a degree from either a UK university or Australian university or some university from other countries which have tied up with a Malaysian university to quality assure that degree. So that's another innovation that's been introduced, dual degrees, where you can also obtain 2 degrees by studying in Malaysia. Or you can study in a private college where you could actually do a certificate diploma or a twinning degree program. So many options available. Yeah. So like I said earlier, the Malaysian private higher education is very, very innovative. There is a lot of diversity in the program offerings and a lot of different models that you can follow in order to get the degree of your choice. It all depends on your preference and it all depends on your interest. Yeah, so that's something you could explore. Now, what is very important to note is that the private sector or the private institutions are very, very heavily regulated in this country. There is a very strong regulation mechanism by the government to ensure that the programs offered by the private institutions always meet quality standards. All right, and always meet the requirements as set by our government. Yeah. So first of all the programs must be approved by the Ministry of Education, Higher Education. So no program can be offered or no program can be launched by any institution, private institution, unless it is first approved by the Ministry of Higher Education. Yeah, and you can go to the ministry website, mohe.gov.my, to see the list of approved programs, and you'll find the programs there and the universities as well. Yeah. In addition to that, the programs must also be accredited. So approval is the basic, right? So first you need to get approval. Then the programs have got to go through an accreditation process. And the programs must be accredited by our Malaysian Qualifications Agency, or MQA. Again, the website is there, www.mqa.gov.my, MQA is responsible for quality assuring these degrees, for making sure that the degrees meet certain standards. And this is a very internationally recognized quality assurance framework. And rest assured that if a degree is offered by a Malaysian private institution, it is definitely accredited by the Malaysian Qualifications Agency, which means that it is of international standard. Yeah, and would probably be recognized across the world. Most of the countries will actually, as long as it is accredited by the Malaysian Qualifications Agency, most countries in the world will also recognize those degrees. Yeah, so you can be rest assured that there is a very strong regulation, there's very strong oversight and quality assurance of these programs by the Ministry of Higher Education and also by the MQA. And you've got no concern, and you should not have any concern about the quality of these programs. The quality of higher education in Malaysia is very high. Yeah, so it is definitely on par, if not better than a lot of other countries in the world, but definitely on par with the top education destinations in the world as well. Yeah, so that's something that you should not have any worry about. Yeah. Now, where Malaysia has the advantage is in affordability. So, you know, if you compare tuition fees, and now this, I'm showing you the tuition fees of private institutions, yeah? So typically in Malaysia, the annual tuition fees is around, well, about USD 7,000. And again, that depends on the university as well. So sometimes it can be less than that. But I would say it ranges between 6 to 7 to 8,000 US dollars a year. Yeah, of course, if you are studying with the foreign branch campus, it might be higher, but this is the average. Yeah, 7,000 USD per year. Whereas if you go to Australia, for example, the fees alone are about 18,000 US dollars equivalent. In the US, it's about 20,000, and in the UK, it's about 19,000 equivalent. Whereas in Canada, it's about 15,000 equivalent. So you can see that compared to other destinations, the fees in Malaysia are much lower, but you get programs of at least the same quality level. Not to worry about that. Now, where Malaysia also has the advantage for students coming, especially from the Southeast Asia region, is living costs. So in Malaysia, you can live very comfortably as a student with 5,000 US dollars a year. This includes accommodation, this includes food, this includes your living expenses, entertainment, traveling, and anything that you need to live comfortably as a student in Malaysia. Yeah, you can have a pretty talking about minimum of 25,000 going up to 38,000 a year. Yeah, US dollars equivalent. Okay, so the cost of studying and living in Malaysia is very much lower than in Australia, US, UK, France, Canada, and I believe also compared to countries like Singapore, for example. Yeah, so it is a very, very good win-win situation, and you can live comfortably with 400 to 500 US dollars a month. Yeah, so it's comparatively a very, very affordable country to be in. Yeah. And you get very, very good amenities in this country as well. Now, in terms of student visas, many of you might be interested to know, is it easy to get a student visa in this country? And the answer is yes. There is a one-stop center called Education Malaysia Global Services. You will normally apply through the university, and the university will submit your applications to EMGS, this agency, and they will handle all the application processes for you. So it's very seamless. Approvals can be done online as well, and normally you will get approvals for your visa between 1 week to 3 weeks. Yeah, so it's a very, very easy process, very seamless, and normally the institutions will help you every step of the way. So you don't have to worry about getting visas as long as you meet the entry qualifications for the program that you've applied for. Yeah. So student visas, not a worry at all. Like I said, there's a one-stop center called EMGS. You can also go to the EMGS website and check out information regarding visas. Very transparent and very seamless process. Yeah. And as I said earlier, there's no language barrier. So English is very widely used in Malaysia. So international students who come in this country will have no problems interacting with other students in this country. Plus, very important to remember, when you want to apply for entry into a program here, you will also have to show that you have achieved a certain level of English competency. So Malaysia does require you to have either IELTS or TOEFL or some other equivalent qualification before you come in. And the degree to which you need to achieve that proficiency will depend on the program of study that you intend to join. But then again, it's also fairly liberal in the sense that what they say is that as long as, if you don't have the level that is required, you can come into the country, attend a language program first at our many excellent language centers available, and then you can join your program of study. Or what they do is that if you don't have the required level of study, you join the program first and you're given up to 2 years to achieve the proficiency while you're studying in Malaysia. Okay, but rest assured that once you start studying in Malaysia, because you are basically going to have to speak in English because you're interacting with people from all over the world, you will improve your English, yeah, because you have to practice. There's no better way to improve language competency other than practicing. Yeah, attending courses is one thing, but practice is more important. So you will learn English, you will practice English, and you will improve your English studying in Malaysia. Plus, as a bonus, you will also learn Bahasa Malaysia. That's a bonus. Every international student who comes in this country will also have to study Bahasa Malaysia as part of the degree program or as part of your diploma program. You'll have to attend a module in Bahasa Malaysia. Not to worry about that. You don't really have to sit for very difficult exams. All you have to do is to learn the language up to the level in which you can go to the market and buy fish or buy vegetables. Yeah. So that is to give you conversational Bahasa Malaysia so that you can get comfortable in the country. Bahasa Malaysia is not a very difficult language to learn. It is a language that is really built around rules, and it's very semantically rule-based. So you won't have any problems learning the language, and it's a fun language to learn. If you can learn Bahasa Malaysia, that language is also used in Indonesia and also in Singapore. So you can then converse very easily in Indonesia, in Bahasa Malaysia. It's almost the same language, and you can also converse in Singapore and in this region very easily. So you'll be proficient in English, you'll be proficient in Bahasa Malaysia as well, right? And if you have the time, there are many institutions or many language centers in the country who also offer other languages that you can learn if you're interested in learning multiple languages, yeah? So that's about languages. Now, Malaysia has also, I just want to share with you pictures of some of the campuses of private universities. Now, I can't show all of them, all the 100+ colleges, campuses, but I will show you some of the main university campuses. We have got very unique and very fantastic campuses, which are very welcoming to international students. The campuses are very vibrant. They provide an environment in which people interact very closely together. So these are just some of the campuses that exist among the private institutions in this country. Very, very high-tech campuses, like I said, very vibrant, very nice environments for people to work together in a very comfortable setting and to develop yourself over the 3 or 4 years that you're with us. Yeah. So like I said, these are just some examples. You can see at the top there, Asia Pacific University. Then we have Sunway University, Taylor's, UCSI, INTI, Monash campus here, Nottingham campus, as well as the Harriet Ward campus as well. You can see the architecture, very unique. Every university has got its own identity, very unique architecture, and everything designed to provide you with a very, very positive learning experience and learning and environment and an environment for you to live and study and work in a very conducive environment. Yeah. So that's campuses, just to give you a flavor. Again, go onto the websites of these universities or go into the web and search for Malaysian universities and you'll find a lot of information available to you. Yeah. But what is very, very nice to see is that Malaysia has got a very vibrant, offers you a very vibrant lifestyle, you know, and students love it. Students love being in Malaysia because they have access to all sorts of social activities, which are very safe and very, and for parents who don't have to worry, right? It's a very safe environment. There's a very, very safe nightlife here. There is a very good shopping environment here as well. Shopping here is relatively low cost compared to other countries, and you know, students can really enjoy their life here through the vibrant lifestyle that you have both in Kuala Lumpur and also outside of Kuala Lumpur. Yeah. So nice restaurants and nice shopping areas that are available for students to go into. In terms of food, there's abundance of food. In fact, I think many people say that Malaysia's the favorite pastime is eating, yeah, because there's a wide range of food to cater for all different types of tastes. We have Malay food, food for Muslim students. We have Middle Eastern food. We have Western food. We have Chinese food as well. Chinese restaurants all over the place. Indian restaurants, and you know, you can't go hungry in this country because food is also very cheap, and more importantly, you can practically get food 24 hours a day. Of course, not during the pandemic. During this pandemic, restaurants had to shut down at a certain time. But when things get back to normal, you'll find that you can find food all over the place, practically 24 hours a day, yeah, of any sort. Yeah, but I think what I do encourage you is that if you do come to Malaysia, do sample the Malaysian cuisine, because Malaysian cuisine is out of this world. Yeah, it's a cuisine or flavors that you will never find in any parts of the world. Yeah, so most of the international students who come here, they tell us that their favorite part is the food. Yeah, they talk about nasi lemak, they talk about roti canai and many other things that are basically native to Malaysia. Yeah, and so it's wonderful. It's a wonderful food paradise, I would say. Yeah, we also have very diverse cultures. So we celebrate every single religious festival. Malaysia has got a great deal of diversity. And as a result, this is something also very interesting for students. There are many public holidays. I think Malaysia is one of the countries in the world which has got the largest number of public holidays because we celebrate everything. We celebrate Chinese New Year, we celebrate the Hari Raya Puasa, which is the Eid festival for the Muslims, the Ramadan at the end of Ramadan. And we also celebrate Christmas, we celebrate Deepawali, and any other festival that is celebrated by the main communities in this country. And everybody celebrates together as one big family. We have public holidays for every single festival that happens. So it's a very enjoyable and eye-opening experience for students, international students in particular, because you get exposed to many different cultures, yeah, and religions and celebrations. A joyous occasion indeed, yeah. And like I said, shopping is, you know, Malaysia is a shopping paradise. Many great malls here. I think we have probably some of the largest malls in Asia in Malaysia. And you can go into the malls and get and do fantastic shopping at relatively low prices. Yeah, I think if you compare prices around the region, you'll find Malaysia has got among the lowest prices as well. Even hotels, the hotel rates in this country are probably among the lowest in the region as well. Yeah, so you can get very good hotels, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, some even 6-star hotels at very, very reasonable rates as well if your families come to visit with you. Yeah. Now, what really, really attracts students to Malaysia is the ability to travel around Malaysia. And Malaysia has got a rich and abundant nature, you know, natural locations where you can experience the true nature of Malaysia. Yeah, it's a tropical country, so you can see there's a lot of waterfalls and there's a lot of places where you can go and really be together with nature, all right? A lot of jungle walks, a lot of hiking and trekking routes where you can really see the true nature of Malaysia. Yeah, so it's a beautiful country for that purpose. In addition to that, beaches are among the best beaches in the world exist in Malaysia. Yeah, we have got many islands around Malaysia, and also along the coast of Malaysia, there are many island resorts, not very expensive at all. And many of our international students spend their weekends or even during the public holidays or during the semester breaks. They don't go back home to their countries. They go around traveling Malaysia, visiting all these places and enjoying themselves tremendously. Yeah, so there are very good diving spots as well in Malaysia if you're into diving and snorkeling. But apart from that, you can just go to a beach and relax. You know, from Kuala Lumpur, if you're in a university in Kuala Lumpur in the city, just drive down for about 1 hour or maybe 45 minutes and you hit the coastline. You'll hit the beach. Yeah, so people do that all the time during the weekends. Yeah, and have a great time and come back. So beautiful beaches and beautiful seascapes for you to visit. So I've just gone through a whole range of areas as to why Malaysia is a great destination for you to study. But just to summarize, you know, the 8 reasons to study in Malaysia. First of all, we have what we consider to be world-class education. The courses here are truly world-class. Malaysian universities rank also in the world's top universities according to QS World University Rankings. You'll find many Malaysian universities in the rankings. And also the campuses. The campuses are also something to enjoy. They are fantastic campuses that are built for students to experience. Then, of course, it's affordability. So Malaysia offers affordability in many areas: food, traveling, transportation, accommodation, living expenses, tuition fees. Overall, the package is a very affordable package, yeah, for students, very student friendly. Third, modern and progressive. We are a very modern and progressive and Muslim friendly country. And while we say it's Muslim friendly, we are also friendly to all other cultures as well. So that makes it a very harmonious environment, very easy access to halal food for Muslims, and also contemporary life and facilities for students who are looking for that sort of lifestyle. Yeah, so very modern and very progressive. As I said earlier, English is widely spoken, so communication will not be a problem. It's a very strategic location as well. A lot of students come to Malaysia, and while they're studying in Malaysia during the 3 or 4 years with us, they also travel to other countries in the region, to Thailand, to Singapore, to Indonesia, coming out from Malaysia. Yeah, so traveling to those countries is not a problem. There are ample flights coming out from Malaysia, of course, like I said, before the pandemic, right? And hopefully after this pandemic season, the flights will reopen in a major way. So people do travel out into the region and use Malaysia as a base. Yeah. It's very safe and very peaceful. As I said earlier, there is no issues here. Our crime rate is relatively low as well. You can safely walk on the streets of KL without being without having any issues here. So not a problem. And very important, you will get a truly multicultural learning experience, because there's amazing diversity in all our campuses. So, you know, like I said, there are about 200 different countries learning in this country. There are students from 200 over different countries learning in Malaysia, and you will be exposed to all of these different cultures. Now, that is very important for a student going to study, yeah, because when you start working, the way the world is developing, the way the world is transforming, it is a truly borderless world, and you will study in an environment that is very diverse. You will work in an environment where your companies will have people from different cultures operating together. Yeah, so there's no better way to prepare yourself for that sort of world of the future apart from studying in a diverse environment, and you'll get that in Malaysia for sure. Yeah. Then finally, it's a very dynamic lifestyle. Yeah, so you have got a very dynamic lifestyle where you can explore all the touristy areas, tourist destinations, and also its harmonious multicultural society, and experience a whole range of festivals as well. And that will really open up your minds, and you'll truly love Malaysia. And even when you go back to your country, you know, we have got students, you know, we've had, you know, in my own university, we have about 6,000 international students studying with us, which is about half of our population in this university. And every one of them, when they go back, they invariably come back for holidays and for any other reasons with their families. Yeah. And all of them will say, we miss Malaysia. So Malaysia is a country that you'll never forget for its experiences. So that's a little bit of background as to Malaysia in terms of what we have to offer, in terms of educational opportunities, in terms of living environment, and so on and so forth. So thank you very much for being with me. Now I'm very happy to address any questions. I understand there are questions in the chat group now, and I'll pass you back to Alicia, who will guide you through that as well. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Singh, for such an enlightening information sharing session. It was very detailed and very clear. And I think we all truly enjoy your sharing on the from everything from lifestyle, culture, natural attraction, right up to food, which connects obviously everyone on this planet.
And the programs as well. So they're very important. At the end of the day, we mustn't forget that they are coming to study. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Yes. Now going to the questions. Yeah. The first one. How many A levels required to enter universities in Malaysia?
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Now, generally, the general requirement is 2 A levels. General requirements. Yeah. So 2 A level, that means at principal pass is the general requirement for most degrees. yeah, two A-levels. But then also that depends on specific programs, yeah. So all of these are defined by the Malaysian Qualifications Agency. They actually specify the minimum entry qualifications required, yeah. But generally it's two A-levels, right? But then there will be specific requirements for different programs. For example, engineering will have their specific requirements, medicine will have their specific requirements. So it's important for you to check the specific entry qualifications from your university that you're interested in, and they will be able to tell you. Because it's very important, when you apply for your student visa, this all will be checked. And if you don't meet the entry qualifications, you won't get your visa. Yeah, so it's very important. Universities are not allowed to take students who don't meet the entry qualifications. So that's why I say it's a very tightly regulated environment here. Yeah, so you'll be rest assured that all that is being looked after. But generally, two A-levels. Yeah.
Thank you for your wise advice.
Yep.
Now, the next question: can an A-level students from the June exam series enter university in September in the same year?
Okay, so I think the most important thing is if you have your results, you can enter. Yeah, the moment you have your A-level results, you can use that to apply and get your offer. Well, if you don't have your results set and you have maybe your provisional results, you can get a conditional offer from the university, but you can only apply for your student visa once you have your actual A-level results. That's a requirement. Yeah. So I think the moment you get your results, you can apply.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yep.
So the next question: can students with AS grade and a predicted A-levels apply for schools?
Yes, like I said earlier, you can use that to get a conditional offer from the university, but the condition is that you must fulfill your A-levels, and the university can only apply for your visa once you've got your actual final A-level results. Yeah, so you can start inquiring, you can start talking to the universities, but you will only be able to get what is known as a conditional offer. I mean, that's the same system as in the UK and Australia, yeah, and that is to safeguard the quality of the programs. Yeah.
Sure, thank you. The next question is something that is of interest to many people.
Yeah.
Is there any scholarships for international students?
Okay, most of the private universities, institutions, what they do is they offer scholarships on merit. So looking at your A-level results, they will actually, most universities will tend to give a certain percentage of bursary or scholarship based on your A-level results. Yeah, and there are different scales depending on the universities. So, they range from somewhere between 10% reduction to some universities to even give full scholarships if your A-level results are very excellent. Yeah, so go into the individual university websites, talk to their counselors, and they will tell you about what they term the merit scholarship schemes that they have. So that's where scholarships are available through these merit scholarship systems. Yeah.
Sure, thank you. I'm not too sure about the next question, but I'll try to interpret it. It's from So the question goes: do the school assessed grades A-levels have the same degree in the A-levels exam? I believe he is touching on the exam route versus the non-exam route, because certain countries worldwide are unable to hold exams, so they do what we call a school assessed
alternative grade. Yes, yeah. As long as those results are certified by Cambridge. Yeah, they are Cambridge certified exams results, which I think is what happened during the pandemic. Yeah, so then it will be accepted. Yeah, so as long as it's officially certified by Cambridge or issued by Cambridge. Yeah, so it's very important to get that. Otherwise, like I said, when it comes to visa applications, then there will be a problem. Yeah.
Sure, thank you. The next question: can students apply with only AS level grades?
No, if you want to enter a degree program, you cannot apply with AS levels. You have to have your A levels. And like I said, if you apply with AS, you will get your conditional offer first. And the condition is that you ultimately achieve your A levels. Now, if you have an O levels, for example, you could apply for a diploma program or foundation or pre-university program. All right, and do that first, and then after that go into your degree. But generally, to join a degree program, you need to have your A-level results.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Singh. I think we are done with the Q&A.
Right.
So therefore, I think I don't see any more questions. So
Okay.
I think your explanation have been really clear. And I think it's been very inviting as well for
Sure.
foreign students who want to study in Malaysia. So yeah, so do you have any closing remarks?
Well, yeah, I mean, all I can say now is that for those aspiring to come to study in Malaysia, do look at Malaysia as a serious destination. It is a fantastic place to study. When you talk to any international student who's come here, they will share with you very fond memories of Malaysia. They will also share with you the standard of education here is very high, and it is an experience that you'll never forget. Yeah, so we from Malaysia, we want to welcome you into this country. We have not been able to welcome as many students in this country over the last 1.5 years because of the pandemic, but we hope that you will choose to come to study in Malaysia, and we look forward to seeing you in the country. So wish you all the best. We hope that you make the right decisions for your future, and no matter what you decided to do, no matter where you decide to study, we wish you all the best and all success for your future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gopaldeep Singh, for your time and your
sharing. Thank you, Alicia.
And your insights. And thank you to the participants for making time to join us today. And I hope this session has been insightful. And do check out our sessions for the rest of the week, and hope to see you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.